We've seen so many feeble ones around. You just begin to wonder, would this be able to protect or probably chase someone who is come to pick up something away? Indeed, the last time we had the chance to speak, we also touched on the fact that when you make a photocopy, there will always be a copy on the machine and people could always have access to it. So how valuable is your information? Is it that classified? Just as you might be thinking, is what we're going to be discussing this morning. You know, the photocopy issue became a big deal. People were asking me so much about it. Are we very sure of the authenticity of it at all?
Well, I mean, that is the fact because the photocopier, like we all know, it has a memory, it had an hard disk in it, and every single thing you photocopy, it always leaves a duplicate behind.
Right.
Yes, so it means that
if
I want to...
If you just click play photocopy again, probably re-photocopy.
You know, like if I'm your secretary,
right.
I think, I know you keep very important and valuable documents, you photocopy them every day. What I'll be doing is, after you finish photocopying, I just press recopy.
But is there a data protection law in Ghana too? We're not so sure about. We could just leak all information and you can't be arrested for that. I think classified information should remain classified. Recently, I hear in Israel, a security woman or something of about 24 was put behind bars because she leaks out information.
Well, it's not even just that. I mean, I was just reading a story where a company is actually charging Google for poaching one of their key employees who was actually handling all their informations. And when Google wanted to buy over the company and the company refused, the company then decided to poach the key employees and take them away. And these guys went away with all the information and everything that they have that they used to work. And now this company, I mean, Google has virtually taken over their business. And they are now going back at the person. I think the most important asset you have as a company is your data.
But your data, in that case, how do we ensure that the data is protected against unauthorized access?
Good. Now, it's one thing protecting it from like unauthorized access, and another thing protecting it for those who have the rightful, right to access it and could leak it. So I mean,
who's there to trust? If all lizards lie prostrate, how do you get to tell which one suffers from bellyache? There couldn't have been a better time for this saying. Why saying, right?
Yeah, but I think the best thing is like for an organization to have a very good data protection policy. And apart from that, release information on the need to know basis. You see, you release the information on the need to know basis because
how do we survive in the days of Trojan horses? I would like to say viruses that could just get all of these data attacked. Because as much as possible, if you would want to have an unauthorized access, protected against unauthorized access, you might want to put it on a computer with a password. But in that case, viruses are what people are just scared of.
You see, even you don't just need to be scared of viruses. There are a lot of free softwares on the internet. I can install a software on your laptop right now, or even on my laptop. If you log in on my laptop into your your email address or anything like that, your password and all your user information is stored on my PC. I just go into it and I can just know every information, every transaction you've done, and I can just see your password. That is why data protection experts always recommend that in protecting your data, you use encrypted passwords and things like that, so that it becomes very difficult for people to hack. Now, I mean, for viruses and all those things, at least in Ghana,
maybe passwords are not safe enough. I have had someone's password for 3 years. The fellow never knew. I mean, I just tried it the first time and it picked.
Funny enough,
I'm not a pirate, but I mean, some people could just be gifted that way.
I don't doubt you.
I don't
doubt you. Like if you want to get people's password in Ghana, look out for the things.
For you, I could say security.
Trust me, I'm even using some Ghana word as my password,
really?
And how you can find it is your own headache. But let's look at it this way. I mean, in Ghana, most people use their birthday plus their telephone number plus their the son or daughter, a car number. So I mean, studying you for like, let's say 1 month, I should be able to have an idea of what your password is likely to be. Maybe your phone number plus your birthday. And maybe that's your password,
Yeah,
but I need to try further. I mean, but there are a lot of softwares for hacking passwords and those things. So it has become, it has become so easy that you are not really safe. And the major problem we have in Ghana is that most people use free antivirus, then hacked antivirus, which themselves are viruses. So, I mean, one major risk is using these things to protect vulnerable information.
Right, and some people do have the belief that the introduction of the new media obviously has come with so much demerits that has ensured that people's information that is meant to be classified doesn't really get that classified as possible. Would you say this has deteriorated to an extent classified information, which organizations are supposed to protect at least?
You see, the answer cannot be straightforward. I think when you want to protect your information, yes, you can.
Right.
But it comes with some level of cost. And that is where people have problems with, and they want to go for the free and the cheap things, and it ends causing them more.
So how do we protect our information to ensure that people do not have access to it?
Well, there are so many ways. For example, I use an external drive that before you can activate it, you need a smart card to open the external drive.
Right.
So my hard drive is partitioned into two. I have the public side and I have the private side.
Is that what you're recommending for organizations?
I'm just giving an example. For an organization, they need data protection experts.
Okay.
You see, because there are people who are experts in firewall protections and data protections and all these things, and they come, they secure your system, and it's secured. Most banks I know in Ghana use such consultants and experts to secure their data. Other than that, I mean, a lot of people would have been rich in Ghana by just hacking into their system and transferring money.
So let's get to understand. Let's say we have Alex here for free to be giving it out because thank God is awake. Let's get to understand or give us a bit of an information or an idea about a data protection plan.
Well, basically,
even though we know we would have paid for it away from the set.
When you want to put in compiling a data protection plan, you must first of all find out what information you want to protect.
Right.
Because you may have so much information, but you don't want to protect all. So I think the best plan you can put in place is to have a backup at a secured place of your location. So every day, like you finish, like ETV like this, the recordings you do and everything, you should have a secure point somewhere where you are constantly sending backup there, so that in case this place, anything happens, you have that backup
in case of fire.
Well, I don't want to say fire. I mean, that's one of the things you can do. Then also you must make sure that you use the right protections on your things. You try to make use of access controls.
Right.
And access controls are not like we have the physical access control for doors and all those things. Then we have the data access control, where people must be limited to areas that they have the opportunity to go.
All right, so a big lesson learned there, and I want to believe so many organizations would have been tuning in to follow with the security tidbits we usually would bring you on Mondays, all for free. You're otherwise supposed to have been paying for this. We've been speaking to the security consultant, Alex Akwe. He is from the Ghana Security Watch. Now, we'll just link into the next segment. Right after that, we get back to the studio to be speaking to a lady who dances just like nobody's business. She's been featured in so many videos that you would have been seeing in Ghana. But let's get to find out when she started to dance, and of course, what has been the motivator